everybody. We've got a, special edition of our podcast. This might be more of a YouTube video than a podcast, but we're going to do our best to explain the visuals as we go for those that like to listen in the car or whatever. We're revisiting the Spice Files, originally run by the Beast of the Bay. Those guys have been a little busy, and I missed the heck out of that content. Love watching those videos. Go back and even rewatch them occasionally. So got a hold of DFB, and he agreed to work with us to put together another round, a new revision of the Spice Files here. So don't want to take anything from anyone, but excited to bring it back. We go through a bunch of decks. Occasionally, it might feel like we're critiquing or whatever. And no offense against the original deck builders. I just love to brew, and hopefully it breeds other ideas to others in the community. And so as we're going through the deck list, I like to throw in a few things that might make a different version of it, and hopefully it spawns some ideas. I know after we were done, I got 5 decks I want to build just from watching all this. So I really hope everyone enjoys it. Big thanks to Dave for all he does and for joining us. And hopefully it is enjoyable to everyone else. And like I say, if you can, check it out on YouTube. If not, enjoy the listen. And have a great day. Thanks, everyone. All right, guys. Well, we can do a little intro here. We're going to try to revive my favorite content on all of YouTube was the Spice Files. I was like religiously every time. I was so excited when they'd come out, and kind of got me motivated early on. And then I made a few of them, and that was like highlights. And one day you guys were all talking, and my wife was in the room, and she's like, "Are they talking about you?" Like, yeah, yeah. I was so proud. So anyhow, I've always loved him, and then I know the guys just got busy or whatever, and kind of dried up, and I'm like, well, maybe we can bring it back to life. So hopefully we can steal the name and not offend anybody, and we'll try to carry the torch.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll care. Those are good dudes. So and yeah, we got DFB with us. We're gonna kind of do a twofer today, right? We'll do you want to do LobsterCon first, and then hit Summer Derby on the way out, and we'll kind of run through some of the best Spice we've seen in a while.
Yeah, excited to be here. This will be fun. I'm happy to do this again. It's been a little too long.
I've already got some positive feedback. Like, I heard you're doing the Spice Files, man. So excited. It was kind of cool that people were reaching out. So
sure.
Hopefully we don't disappoint. But and I'll probably release it as a podcast, even though it's probably all visual to see the decks. But we'll try to.
Yeah, we can try.
Yeah, I know some people just listen when they drive. I know that's what I do a lot of times. So.
Sounds good.
Before we get into Spice, can I touch on what might be the deck photo, at least of the year? I mean, this deck photo. Ryan, you know how to say his last name?
Yeah, Grudzinski, and he top 8'd also.
Yeah, this is a top 8. It's essentially a mono black deck splashing white, just a little bit of white.
There's the detail here, right? I mean, the white is obviously playing its role. But have you noticed the blue also? And where it is?
Got some blue balls.
He's got blue balls.
Giant black shaft.
Yep.
The head is made of power, and then it's just spritzing a little bit of Swords of Plowshare out. He's even wearing a hat that says Cox.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's fully committing to the bit, and really, yeah. I mean, you really can't. I mean, like I really appreciate like the consistent angle on the balls, right? Like the circles are hard to make. You have to like count the number of cards and then divide by a certain amount of like, a degree kind of separation, or like how they're kind of like angled there, and like this takes a lot of trial and error. And,
yeah, I feel
maybe
like
a protractor or something.
Yeah, he laid this out in AutoCAD. He probably had like some overlays made. I mean, he probably subbed it out to an engineering firm to get this precise, and it's very deserving. It's perfect.
And he made top 8 with only playing the only white cards are 4 Swords to Plowshares, right?
Yeah, and a
Yeah.
couple of sideboard cards there.
And he splashes red in the sideboard only.
No,
So,
he's
yeah,
got
yeah.
trolls. He's got
He's
trolls
got
down here in
trolls
the
and
balls.
a
He's
Shivan.
got
and a
trolls
Shivan.
and a Shivan and a disintegrate in the right testicle.
So no basics. Yeah, this deck is actually kind of crazy. It's like a lot of double black spells, but it's also a 4-color deck.
Yeah, because you got orders, hymns, hypnotics, sinkholes, all
Yeah,
double
it's
black.
awesome.
So I mean,
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
heavy black with like you're just splashing the other 3 basically.
I'm curious what decisions he had to make to make the deck photo work. If there's anything he would have like played differently, but he just couldn't get one more black card in there or something like that. You know,
the list, right? Yeah, his list has to be aesthetic also.
I think disenchant the main probably is like the biggest one.
Interesting.
Yeah, that could have been good, but where do you?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense otherwise. Yeah.
That makes no sense. Otherwise, the penis just isn't correct. So, not spicy, but man, you give my respect. That's for sure.
It's flawless. And the incredible thing is that he uploads this photo independently of how he's going to do in the tournament, and then plays well enough to have this, featured in the top 16, right? Like, it's like it all comes together. So yeah, hats off to the Grodsfather.
It works also because like he only gets to play the 2 power spells and not Time Twister, because that's bad in a deck playing him and Hippie. Like he cut the bad power and it works only for
you couldn't get a 3rd blue in there. That would just be wrong.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's not anatomically correct. Yeah.
Perfect.
Beautiful. So yeah, we started texting that around and they're like, even this freaking hat says Cox on it. Like, this guy's a legend.
Yeah. He did it.
He did it. All right. Well, let's move on to some spice. I don't know. I pulled up your the report, and I think I'll just maybe start at the top.
These are
a specific order to these or not.
These are X point decks. Yeah. Do you want to work your way through these?
Yeah. Let's do the X point side of it here, because I kind of love this top. Actually, the first couple I'm a big fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, I mean, I don't understand what's happening here. John, like, he gets your attention with the aesthetics of his photo, and just sort of like kind of pulls you in with stuff that you haven't really seen in a list before, like Life Tap. And then you usually just spend like the next several minutes trying to understand what is going on. I think it has something to do with
he's leaning hard on Gaia's lead.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He's got Instill Energy. He's going to turn your lands into forest. He's got doppelgangers to copy more Gaia's Liege, because they get huge once everybody's lands are forest. Got 1 Force of Nature just to win once in a while.
Yeah, he's magical hacking your lands into forests as well, I imagine.
Well, I think the magical hacks for the you can also use that with Life Taps. So whatever color they're on, you can change that to blue.
Oh yeah, you can Life Tap.
Right, dang, that's against a red deck. Like turn 2 doing that is actually kind of gross.
So and of course he's got the Enchantress package. He's got Wild Growth, Concordant Crossroads to really get in there.
It looks like he's got 9 enchantments main deck. That's a little light for the Enchantress.
So this is my critique.
No, he has 13. He has 13.
Oh, sorry, the Life Taps are also enchantments. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
It's okay. I think if I was going to replay this, I think I'd cut the Enchantresses for like Whirling Dervish, because if you hack them, they're so good. If they're on red and you just make Dervish pro red.
You can't. That's sleight of mind though.
Sleight of mind.
Hack changes the name of a basic land name on a card. So I was right. You can't change their land types, but what you can do is change Life Tap so that like if they tap mountain or whatever.
Yeah, because it says green. I guess is that what? Yeah, change the word or something like that.
Well, this deck also is powerless. This deck has no power in it.
Yeah, it's unpowered. I mean, it's
cutting Enchantress for Moxes.
So
Oh, that's true.
It's
Yeah,
part of
it's
that is a
X-Point.
function of it being X-Point. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Enchantress is too much. Otherwise, I feel like a little ramp or something here, some elves or whatever might get your Guy's Liege out. I read something similar to this in Alpha because I have Alpha Guy's Liege, and it is awesome when you start just every turn turning their stuff into forest, and they're like, "What?" And like,
You can
they
lock
just
them out. Yeah.
yeah, if you can get it rocking, it's really
Yeah.
cool. So, and 4 doppelgangers really going for it too. So, um, anyhow, very cool. I really like
I
this.
understand this a lot better now. I'm glad we had this conversation. I don't think he won any games. Like, not I know he didn't win any matches. He may have also not won any games. But I mean, A for effort, like A for aesthetics.
Yeah,
There's a lot of cool stuff that we haven't, interactions that we don't see a lot of. So, yeah, this was definitely one of the top spicers in the X-Point event.
Even
And
People
quickly-
of the Woods would be good.
No, that card.
Yeah, because all your forests,
Yeah.
the big defense to stall while you're getting your liege going. You just kind of
they
sit on
they are
defense until you're.
ramping. They are ramping harder than you think though, because they have Wild Growth, Candelabra, Instill Energy, and Ley Druid. So like a Ley Druid with an Instill Energy and a Wild Growth is like what, 6 or 8 mana?
It's a bunch, yeah.
Yeah.
So
all
right.
then
It's
you
out
also
fast.
and like Concordant Crossroads to make the Ley Druids go out as soon as they go. Is so Wild Growth is like a little bit better in this format because of the strip mine, right?
Right. Yeah, you're not seeing much strip mine.
So a
This
little
one,
bit
yeah,
better.
one strip mine, and also, I mean, land destruction may not be as playable here. I'm not sure. I feel like land destruction is better. It speeds up with moxes, right? You don't have as many moxes flying around here, so the pace may impact that as well.
Yeah.
Wild Ghost might be a bit safer than usual.
Yeah, love that one. Very cool. Andy Vaccaro, always on to something cool. And let me see, I was kind of scouting this earlier, and this is right after my own heart because I've played multiple decks with 4
Yeah.
Rasputin Dreamweaver. I love that card, and it's so good with Thanos' Coffin because one thing you can play Rasputin, drop the coffin, and protect Rasputin with the coffin with the extra mana still on it. So, there's Rasputin coffin. What are you going to do? Try to kill the Rasputin? You put him in the coffin, and then he's got all the other usual suspects, the Trikes and Tetravis, which are good in coffin. I love a good juxtapose. After you've depleted everything down, you give them that, or if you live the dream, you give them the voodoo doll. I've never pulled that off, but man, would I love to.
Can't say I've ever even tried. I've never owned a copy of Voodoo Doll. I admit I have to look at what it does. For those who don't know, it's a 6 mana artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, it gets a pin counter. At the beginning of your end step, if it's untapped, destroy it, and it deals damage to you equal to the number of pin counters on it. And you can pay double the number of pin counters worth of mana, basically, and tap it to deal damage equal to the number of pin counters on it to any target. So I guess early on you can pay you pay your 6, and then the first turn I guess you pay 2 mana to do 1 damage, then you pay 4 mana to do 2 damage, and then maybe you have 6 mana to do 3 damage, but then eventually it keeps growing and you start taking a ton of damage every turn.
You can sack it to what's the old man?
Sage of Latnam.
Yeah, you can sack it to Sage,
Sage
or you
can just
donate it with Juxtapose.
With Juxtapose. And
But
Juxtapose
also-
tracks it's the highest mana cost, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But you could also have a ton of mana with Rasputin Dream Counter tokens with Coffin if you're not using the counters. You just the counters keep growing. So if you put Rasputin in a Coffin and he comes out with 12 counters. So you can pay Voodoo Doll. Then the next turn it comes out
Rasputin has a cap of 7 counters.
Oh,
It's
wow.
on
Okay,
there.
never
Yeah,
saw
it's
my
one of those-
bad.
That works
you
with
can never
Trike
have more than
Infections.
7.
Yeah, with Trike and stuff. Okay, my bad. But so you could, I guess, technically have him at 1 counter, put him in the Coffin, and he'd come back out with 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I,
So
I
that's
actually
okay.
played, believe it or not, I played the Voodoo Doll this weekend at our event,
Yeah,
our
you
weird
did.
event. And I killed a Savannah Lion with it, and the next turn did
That's
a
6 mana, dude.
yeah, it was 6 mana. I put a
It's
counter
actually
on it, killed his
eight
lion,
mana,
and the
yeah.
next turn on Titanium Song, and it was a 6/6.
Yeah, as good
I
as
got
the
last place
Titanium
in the
song
tournament,
out.
but I did that, so
Value.
and I got that in my hat, so
Love it.
Hey, it's got Rasputin Armageddon in it. Like that is like it's just a straight 1-turn kill if you're ahead, which is kind of nice.
yeah, it is
In a
super-
format
yeah,
without
that's-
Moxes.
I
Without
feel
a lot of
Rasputin's
Moxes.
underplays. He's so good
Really,
with so
really
many
good.
things.
Yeah. That's
And
powerful.
with Armageddon's perfect because you can pop him, pay the extra 3 for Gooden, still have 4 mana to drop something next turn, or 5 actually, because you'll tick back up. So,
Mhm.
yep, good job as
So
always.
if you wanted to make this deck good, would you just cut Voodoo Doll, Tetravis, and play more Armageddon?
It's already pretty good. I mean, I think we didn't end up giving this the top spice prize because it has so many powerful cards in it, right? Like
Mm.
everything here is very, very good except for like the Voodoo Doll and the juxtaposes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Using Workshop for Voodoo Doll is spice though. So
Well, giving away a Mana Vault's a good juxtapose
It's
trick
amazing,
as
yeah.
well. So you can use that, hand it over to them, take their good thing.
Yeah, this is
yes, Age of Latinam.
a well-calibrated list. Oh, and in terms of X point, I do like using the points here on the Lotus. That's it just kind of admits like the benefit of rushing out a Rasputin or early trike or that kind of thing. You can do a lot pretty quickly with that, like as opposed to Moxus or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
All right, I mean, X Point was a small event. That's probably at 2 spice prizes, I believe.
Yeah.
On there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Let's see. Then what do we?
Which one won? Was it the Gaia's Liege deck?
We gave it to the Gaia's Liege deck, yeah, but there was a lot of discussion. Eurus was in the ring there as well. Brian.
What did you play? Bring up your deck list.
I don't think
it
I don't
was-
think it's on the report actually because I didn't put up all the I didn't put up all the X point lists on the report.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It did a
was
lot
cool.
of cool things because I was running Illusionary Mask.
Oh.
Man, I love got to be one of the most fun cards ever. Illusionary Mask. I do have a asking for a friend Illusionary Mask question. If I play a Royal Assassin under Illusionary Mask, they attack. You block with the assassin. It'll then flip over, and then you can activate it and kill what attacked you, right?
Does it flip over when it's assigned as a blocker? I don't.
Yeah, if it attacks, blocks, or is dealt damage. So I'm pretty sure if they attack into your upside down.
It's not actually that. It's let's see, if it hasn't been turned face up and it would deal or assign damage, be dealt damage, or become tapped. When it's assigned as a blocker, it actually doesn't.
It has to be assigned damage. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let my friend know.
Yeah.
Who's your friend playing Illusionary Mask?
Keep working on it.
All right, we'll do. But yeah, I mean, my deck was Illusionary Mask with just like a bunch of random stuff, and then I was playing Berserk Juxtapose as well. So I would Berserk something, and then after combat juxtapose it to them, so it would die and take their good creature. But Illusionary Mask was so much fun, just because they never knew what was underneath it, and I had the Fat Jim, the 5/6 that would just catch them off guard. I also had Rook eggs, so they just kill it, and you're like, thanks. All right, you get a Rook token out of it. I'm gonna vote Illusionary Mask is one of the most fun bad cards to play because it was a blast. It didn't do well, but it was fun.
I've never heard of the juxtaposed Berserk idea. That's really hot. That's a really, really cool idea. Like,
I think I had Maze of Ith too, so I could Berserk Maze their stuff, Berserk my own, and juxtapose it. Yeah, it had a lot of tricks, and I pulled some of them off, but there were a few just blowout games. That's kind of how I play Magic. I do all right, and then there's always like two or three that there's nothing in the world I could have done. A lot of my opponents always say that's the best this deck's ever done. That's like a really common theme for me. I bring other people great luck. They're like, so
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the space to do my thing while you
Yeah,
just
yeah, like
do whatever.
so yeah, no, I really enjoyed the exploit. It was fun. I did horrible, but it was a great time. I'll have to dig that up. I'll pull it out some other time or whatever. But all right, main event. Let's roll
Speaking
over
of
to Saturday main event. Spice Awards for
committing
The
to the bit here,
style award.
the style award, yeah.
Style. That's all white border. Even if you notice, the Blood Moons are the dark but white bordered, right? Those are 4th edition.
Committing to the bit,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, the Antiquities factories, the Hammerheim. What else is going on here? Are they the dark Power Stones as well? Relic barriers, Fisher, chains, ruck eggs. Most of it actually he had to do. The Antiquities ATOGs.
Falling Star.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no
Like
wonder he
some
was
of
able to get
these,
so much of the vinyl eraser to
some
use around
some
the
of these
edges.
could have been bought white border. Like you
Oh, yeah.
could buy these cards in white
Yep.
border, but they decided 4th edition's ugly, which it is. Everyone should know that about 4th edition. So he white bordered the actual black border version.
And
Yep.
I talked to him about it. It took him hours to do this.
Oh, days, yeah.
Yeah, he was just kind of regretting his decision at a certain point, like, what have I done with my life? But I mean, look at the photo, just the number of erasers and erasers around the edge. Like, he made an entire frame of eraser.
What bothers me about this is that he had to plan on doing this. Like he had to have a vision. Otherwise, as you're doing this, you throw the damn eraser shavings like away. You just like
Right.
clean up and you throw them out. But he had a plan, and he executed tirelessly on that. I mean, I imagine his arms are pretty buff now because it takes a lot of elbow grease. Having I've done a few. I've not done it on this scale. This is pretty insane.
So some of these cards are pretty expensive. Like the Falling Star.
Falling Star, sure. Yep.
The white border Falling Star, yeah. He didn't white border LOA though. No Library of Alexandria white bordered.
I mean,
he
you
would have
something, right.
He should have, man.
I've seen a few of them, and there's a few out there in the wild.
Those are actually beta volcanics, believe it or not.
Really committed. Yeah,
is there any reason to play the volcanic island? Why did he play volcanic and plateau?
Maybe just faking them out.
Yeah, so he should have played. He has one distance.
He does have a sideboard. Yeah,
but he does. Then he has demonic and mind twist sideboard, but he doesn't have a bad. Oh yeah, he does have Badlands. I don't know why he has the volcanics.
Just mind games, man.
Red Herring.
Yeah, but it makes the deck better because they play Felwarstone.
Oh.
But hell yeah.
That. But I was thinking about this because, I mean, worst case, you get Blood Moon, you're still in mountains, so you don't care.
You really don't care.
I guess you're baiting them out with the Blood Moon because they see you playing all these non-basics, so they're like, "Wow, he's not going to Blood Moon me." So no reason to hold back.
Really?
Yeah, that's deep.
That is deep. Wow.
He did pretty decent. I don't know where but I felt like he was doing all right through the day.
Yeah, I'd have to look. But he's a good player too. So
that's a good deck. Mana Vault Shivan Dragon decks are scary as hell, dude.
All right.
This is some more style points. Yeah, it's just
but can you tell me what these cards are? The altars are amazing. I mean,
if I looked, I could, you could see the hippies and the hymns in the lower left.
Hippies.
Yeah,
these are hymns.
Swords.
Okay, they just did this really good, like dark. Everything's got kind of that spooky Halloween feel.
Yeah, I think Anders Schmidt had his hands all over this, and Probably made a pretty penny on the way, actually.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. Anders, he's a Danish artist, altarist who does a lot of the airbrush altars. I met him in when I was up in Arvika earlier this year. Really talented. So John is based in Pennsylvania, I think. So imagine they've had a lot of postal correspondence over the last several months or years.
This thing is beautiful. I'd love to. Yeah, I wish it was a little crispier. Even I'm sure this doesn't give it justice.
Oh yeah, would love to get a higher res version.
So these are what counter spells, disenchant,
Disenchants, side blasts.
He doesn't have
What
counterspell.
What, all these are side blasts.
The side blasts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like,
okay, that
like
makes
a
sense.
hand with like a head ripped off. Pretty cool.
No, it's a sweet deck.
Yeah, good style points.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite the penis, but still.
No, it is amazing. One thing that struck me as I was looking through all these, and then the Derby decks as well later, is that like the amount of customization that people's decks and collections have undergone over the last several years. Think back to like, I don't know, when old school really started hitting the mainstream, among the people that it was going to reach in the US, like back in, I don't know, 2016, 2017, 2018. People were getting stuff, and the deck photos were cool. Now it's just like the signatures and altars and just like the white borders, all kinds of different miscuts and stuff. The craft that people put into really customizing their collections and their lists. You see some really incredible stuff these days.
That's the library, isn't it?
Yep.
That's amazing. Wow. Yeah. No, I agree. It just keeps evolving, which I'm okay with that.
No, it's really rewarding to see over time.
All right, let's move on to Scott Bradley's Deep Blue Sea Spice Award. I'm a big fan of this plan. I've dabbled in similar spaces. So he's using control magics, some sea singers, and Old Man of the Sea to steal your stuff to the Hermit spawning bed. It's got turtles to stall.
Yep.
Like
my decks can never beat a turtle. I can tell you that.
Dude, true.
Oh, you play giant tortoise? I lose. I guess I can't do anything.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean Diamond Valley obviously to sack some good stuff, and then and if you can get the engine rolling, if you can Sea Singer into a Fallen Angel, you get 3 Fallen Angels to sack outlets. Diamond Valley sack outlet, and the spawning bed for sack outlets. So a lot of good stuff there.
Yep.
He's also running the Wall of Wonder. Gosh, I love that card.
Wall of Air.
Yeah, more. Both Wall of Wonder and Wall of Air.
Oh, whoa! What the hell? He does have Wall of Wonder.
Yeah,
He's got Wall of Wonder and 2 Wall of Air.
Wall of Wonder, aka the blue Juzam Jin. He can stall out with the tortoises and the walls, and then once the coast is clear, he's stolen your stuff. He can go on offense with the Wall of Wonder. I think it's a foolproof plan, really. It's where this would really shine. It's like if you can steal a blue creature of theirs that's big enough, sack it to the Cameron spawning bed, and then it makes all the 1/1 tokens, and then you sack all of the tokens to the Fallen Angel and attack them for $1 million.
Yeah.
That's the dream there.
That's the dream.
Fallen Angel spawning bed is huge.
Yeah, I love it.
Not seen that yet. That's a good one.
It's so good.
I think the hack is to, let's see.
Probably Sea Singer.
The Sea Singer, yeah.
Usually I'd put Sea Singer in the side just because it's let me down more than I thought.
He's got a hack. He's got a phantasmal terrain.
And he can kill the Sea Singer to the spawning bed, where it has more purpose than it does.
That's right. Yeah, he's got an outlet for a useless Sea Singer. That's a really, really good point. I'm trying to. Is there anything relevant in the sideboard? I mean, you can go a bit more.
Dude, this is my favorite deck I've ever seen.
Yes, it's a sweet list.
I'm done with old school. I figured it out. Oh, the best deck? Yeah, dude. This deck plays Spawning Bed and Fallen Angel. Figured it out. Done.
Yeah, because you actually, Eric, you had that Spawning Bed deck that was nasty, dude. It was hard.
Dude, I play both of these decks. It's just like my 2 favorite decks combined it into one. Yeah, this dude, Fallen Angel and spawning pit or spawning bed or whatever, dude. I play both those cards too often.
Yeah.
This is
I
the
mean,
coolest deck.
if you could throw in preachers instead of these, that would be probably a little easier. But that's a
My mind
intense
would,
meta.
That's kind of the coolest deck I've ever seen. My boy Scott Bradley, new BFF. Never met you, but dude, sweetest deck I've ever seen. Wall of Wonder is badass, actually.
It's perfect, yeah.
And I've always thought that Giant Tortoise, whatever, was a good card, but I've never said it out loud. And then you say that, and I'm like, oh shit, this card is good, right? I've been thinking that card's good.
Yeah, it's totally good. It's really good in Singleton as well. It's just like a house.
Absolutely. Is blue and 1 for a what, 1/4?
It's effectively a 1/4. Yeah, if it's untapped, it's a 1/4.
Yeah.
And that just stops everything under the sun. Like you literally can't attack into it with an X1. And there's a lot of X1s.
Yeah. Orders and lions, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Every weenie creature in white and green. It's a real deal. It's the real deal. If you want to hold the ground, you can't do better than that card.
This is such a cool deck, man. Very awesome.
All right, we'll get a new take. Doug Greer with Get Lit or Die Trying. All right, he's hang on.
Always love to see different takes on the Lich deck. This is a Eureka Lich.
It's not fitting, but the bottom's just moxes and lands, so we'll scroll here to the good stuff.
He's got one Eureka, at least. Eureka Lich is definitely a known archetype. And of course, Darkheart is a staple of Lich builds as well. I like the Howling Mine here. It's good with the Sylvan Library. It works with the Fast Bond. It works with the Darkheart for similar reasons.
I mean, you got to really commit though to just raw dogging the mine, because he's got no way to turn it off. So your opponent's also drawing 2 cards a turn. I mean,
everyone's raw dogging Howling Mines these days. That's like
no relic barrier or icy or anything. Yeah. He's just going for it. He's just like, we're gonna move things along. I got lobster to eat.
Yep. Does he have a? Now hang on a second. He has Fireball. He's got Mirror Universe. I do like being able to Eureka in the Mirror Universe. That's cool too. What I want to see here is a channel, just to give yourself a chance at living the dream. I don't think below the fold is just a bunch of mana sources. Yeah.
True. I mean, he's got Channel Fireball. Lotus.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. He's got everything you need.
He's got Fireball.
Yeah.
He just needs a channel.
Just throw the channel in there.
I thought the altered Fast Bond was channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
I thought that for like a while. Okay.
Yeah. Some of these altars are really sweet. I love Hercule's Recall. Is that what else is in there? He's got a Drop of Honey hiding there in the board. I love Mana Short in decks like this too. If you have a turn where you're going to combo off the next turn, you can knock the lights out on the opponent's side. And then do your thing on your turn.
Mana Short can really be a time walk in decks like this.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Got a balance side. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I'll give him spice for damn sure.
This is a deck that only this guy can play. I think. Like, if I played this deck, he shuffles it up, gives it to me. He's like, play my opponent. I would lose so fast.
You definitely have to put the reps in, for sure.
I do think with 4 Sylvan Library, Howling Mine, and a Fireball, he should be playing a channel, though. That would be like my only recommendation. Just because you have so much. Like, you're just looking at so much. And you have Darkheart of the Woods to get above in life, which makes channel so much better.
Yeah, because you take those early rounds, and all of a sudden you can't kill them.
Yeah, you're always at like 18.
He doesn't do damage
until
he's 19. Going off. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe channel. Yeah, it's like because he's only playing 3 Lich, so maybe he should have thought, oh, I'm gonna play 3 Lich and 1 channel as a win condition.
He's got 4 cities though. I mean, it's pretty conceivable that you're not gonna have 20 life.
Yeah,
for
yeah, oh
the for the
yeah.
combo. I mean, I guess you get extra lands. I don't know. Yeah, still cool. I mean, I love a good
It's
lich.
super cool.
Oh, you'll have 20
I
life
tried
because
lich a
you can
while,
gain life back with the dark heart too. I mean,
and you start drawing 3 cards
yeah,
right with lich. So
yeah, exactly.
If he was on the podcast, he could probably explain why he didn't play Channel. Like it seems like he thought this deck out a lot. In my mind, I think it does look good in there though.
No, I love it. No, it's a sweet deck.
This deck's awesome. What's the altar of like the evil looking dude?
this is demonic tutor
That's tutor.
regrowth.
Yeah, tutor
Oh,
regrowth,
okay.
recall, disenchantment.
Recall.
That Urkel's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you have to put your points in demonic tutor. That's what he would say, right? That's like his explanation.
Well, this we're not exploring
This is
anymore.
LobsterCon. Is
This
it
is
really?
actual
Okay, if I was looking at the Moxes, I would remember that this wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is not exploit. My bad. Zoom
He
down.
spent
Okay,
86 points.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
9,000.
All right. Mentos the Friend Maker by John. I want to say Bacon, but that's how do you
I
buck
assume it's Boson.
Bolson? Okay.
But I couldn't say. Yeah, this is like a mono white turbo fog, basically.
Yeah. Sorry.
Kind of
Trying to
make
get
a
to the bit.
make a pillow fort here with the what do you call those festivals and holy days and
Yeah, he's got a Holy Day Festival.
Island Sanctuary, Ivory Tower. This wants to, a land tax. You just want to hang back and make friends. How are we winning the game?
You just stop
Island
drawing
Sanctuary.
with Island Sanctuary.
Yeah.
He's not making any friends. He's he's crazy if he thinks he's making friends by just sitting behind Island Sanctuary while they draw out and die. But
Oh, I see. He's milling them with Howling.
He can
Yeah.
skip a draw. He can skip his draws.
Sure. He's got a Felden's Cane hiding there in the sideboard in case he really needs it.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. I got you. I'm with you. Man, I love the land tax fisherman. Yeah.
the Land Tax Fisherman's
Yeah, that's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
That looks so good.
I mean, you might as well run 4 swords if you don't care how much life they have.
I think what I like about this is that it's monocolor. Like there's a lot of different things that you can do in this strategy. You've seen like the fog, like Arborea type decks. He's like, nope, we're just playing white cards here. And that, I don't know, it makes it that much more interesting. Like you have to find other cards that kind of dovetail with the plan. He's done a good job of that.
I've
I wonder
always
if he
said
would
that.
go ahead.
I'll go ahead. No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I just wonder if looking back, if you'd rather play a couple more Wrath of God, because I feel like that's pretty clutch after you've stalled out, and the board's flooded, then you just wipe it one turn instead of fogging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said that land tax Ivory Tower is the true combo. What's the card you like? Land's Edge.
Yeah.
That card's not that good, but like land tax Ivory Tower is actually good. Like I'm sure that this dude had a crazy amount of life in some games. This might be a deck you would bring in the Library of Lang. That we've been discussing, like how powerful that card is, especially with balance.
I've been in love with that card.
Discard X cards or whatever. Like if you discard down to there, but you get to put the cards that you like on top of the deck. So I don't know. I feel like this is the deck where Library of Lang could have maybe shined in. You could probably just win some games. Like if you're playing against goblins and you have land tax Ivory Tower, Library of Lang, you can mill them out. Like you can totally mill them out. You can deal 5 a turn at the max.
Well, it's a quick side tangent on Library of Lang. They just did an anti-event, I guess Saturday night, where balance was unrestricted, and I was trying to convince Ben. I'm like, you got to run Reanimator with like 3 or 4 Library of Lang because balance is the perfect setup. You discard the creatures and you put your animate deads right on top of your deck because you get to pick and choose. And you can run your own balances, but it's like the greatest setup for a Reanimator theme is Lang balance. So when you're expecting to be running 4 and your opponent has 4, man, it seemed like the perfect thing. I if I had the time or energy, I would have loved to have just tried that out.
I just checked. John did win 2 matches with this at LobsterCon.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it did come together
Badass.
for him. Love to see it.
Is he just really good at orb flips, or did he actually mill someone?
I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll have to ask.
Yeah.
I don't know. Once you
Very
get the
cool
lock
deck.
and you get 3 or 4 alley mines out there, and
Yeah, I think they can't
they
do
don't have
anything.
flying. What are they going to do? Yeah.
You mill them out. Yeah, amazing.
I respect. This is a really cool. This is like if I played like a blue
Well,
control deck. This is how I would build it.
One thought occurred to me. I was like, "Oh, why doesn't he run moat?" But then I remember the Island Sanctuary is moat, and it literally
is.
does. It literally does that.
Yeah, because Island Walk does not affect him.
Yep. Yeah. Right. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, I've been talking about running that like Relic Barrier, Howling Mine, Ivory Tower, or Island Sanctuary. Those 3 just seem like something would be cool in a shop deck or something, like a real like legit competitive deck, because it creates this crazy lock when you don't, early on you don't draw the cards, and then later you can, and I don't know. Feels like something worth trying. Cool deck.
Very
Hope
cool.
you made some friends.
Dude, this deck is so tight. Immolation's too good. Immolation's so gross. And it's got Stang and Hazes on in it. Holy crap.
I love to see Immolation Enchantress. So this is Stephen Pankwitz's deck. It's I guess you would call this Naya Enchantress. A very, very underplayed space in old school. But I think Immolation is actually the key to that, undiscovered archetype. So he's one of our local guys here in Boston. He's pretty new to the scene, actually. He's joined within the last, I don't know, like year and a half. He's been trying some pretty funky stuff. I think a previous build of this deck actually had castles in it. With Jacques.
Yeah, with Jack Levert, dude.
With Jacques, you've got like an 06 Enchantress, right? So
yeah.
That's pretty good.
Jacques Levert, Immolation, Birds of Paradise.
Yep.
Dude, it's huge. This deck is too sick.
And Jacques Levert bumps all the Hazes on tokens too.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, they're all
and and Stang and yeah. The only thing I wasn't sure about, why 3 main deck Greater Realm Preservation.
Dude, you've never been playing old school long enough, dude. Come on. I think that cards are okay.
I mean,
that card makes more sense than Circle Protection Artifacts.
I mean, it's for both black and red. Come on.
That's true. That's 2. Yeah, it is 2 colors and 1 card. 2 for 1.
Those are the weird ones. And then like Johan. But so the tokens with the Hazes on tokens with Jacques Levert with Vigilance are strong.
Yeah. Well,
but dude, that's 3 legends out.
Johan makes a lot of sense, right? Because Jacques only gives the benefit to the untapped. No,
just green.
No. It's any green creature. That's really good. All right, I take it back.
It is good for Enchantress. Like Enchantress always dies to Bolt, right? So like you make it have a bigger defense, and then it's also sick with Immolation for sure.
Yeah.
Jacques Levert is actually pretty badass. Like Spitting Slug is a 2/6.
He's legit. Yeah, and he buffs himself too, right?
Yeah.
He's a 2/5 or 2/4. Yeah,
he's a 3/4.
3/4. Okay. Yeah,
that's buffs your team. That's a pretty reasonable rate, actually. It's only
actually
1 mana more expensive than Serendipity Freight, and no downside.
Yeah,
I think if you would have cut 1 Greater Realm for a second Jacques Levert, he probably could have won. Honestly,
I do dig the name of my swords because he has Spirit Links and Immolation. So in this build, like, Immolation is his swords, and he draws a card.
Exactly. Spirit Link can neutralize attacking creatures. Immolation just outright kills stuff, and then you draw a card if you cast either. I think that's what Enchantress really loves to have, is the 1 mana enchantments that affect the board, right? Weakness is a good example of that in black, or Paralyze.
That's true.
So that can really buy you time, and there's nothing better than casting a card like that with an Enchantress or 2 out, like neutralizing your opponent's card and then drawing back cards. That's a very, very good feeling.
What if he cut the circle protections in Greater Realms for like Rapid Wombats? Because with Jack Levert, you could actually immolation your own Rapid Wombat.
You sure could.
So
Rapid
if you
Wombat.
wanted to get a little bit more aggressive, now I'm saying I'm bringing in the like stereotypical Enchantress creature, right?
Yeah, the
Just
stock
saying, like,
meta, the meta
yeah,
Enchantress
the meta
Wombat deck.
Enchantress,
Yeah.
the well-known, yeah,
Yes, the
top eight
well-known and
Enchantress.
very spiky Rabid Wombat.
Yeah, maybe I
If you want to take this thing mainstream, you know.
yeah, if you wanted to bring it in, you could take the circle protection artifacts out main deck and bring in the wombats. And maybe
Yeah,
the
we wouldn't be
wombats are in the
talking about a
sideboard.
spike like that, though. No.
Maybe the wombats are in the sideboard, but I dig how he took the photo to where you don't see his sideboard because of the glare. That's hidden knowledge. That's wisdom right there. That hidden esoterical wisdom that has been long forgotten. I think there's maybe a Shatterstorm in there.
Palladium Mars, Shatterstorm. Yeah, took near Deathlock.
Oh hell yeah!
A couple more COP artifacts.
A lot of
are there 2 earthquakes in there? I can't really tell actually.
Maybe.
Earthquake's pretty dope with the Jack Levert, dude, for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I do think I love the idea of a Jack Levert with a Birds of Paradise enchanted with immolation. Like a 2/1 flying, just going all the way. Like,
if you win with that, achievement unlocked. Yeah.
I've lost more games to just like 2/1 flyers in old school. I mean, I've seen more and more just Savannah Lions and freaking Hypnotic Specters kill me. Turn 1 Lion, 20 damage.
Yeah.
So I imagine
it gets around Greater Realm of Preservation too if your opponent has that.
True, yeah, birds will get through. This deck is sweet though, for sure.
Foolproof.
No swords to plowshare.
Siren Song. I'm gonna go refill my drink. You guys talk about this one, but this tells its own story. This is beautiful and
Tim Atwood is a really thoughtful brewer and spicer and appreciator of the finer points of old school tech for sure. I mean this deck is doing what the name suggests, Sengir's Siren Song, luring your opponent's creatures in so that you can presumably block with Sengir Vampire and make your vampire bigger. There's a couple things here. I mean, Disharmony also sort of meshes with that plan. Let's see. I think, wow. I was expecting to see Nettling Imp. Yeah, so Siren Song, like it forces your opponent to attack, and then you can kill them with the assassin too, right?
It's better than Imp because Imp's a 3-mana 1/1. So Siren Song is actually better, probably.
Yeah, Imp is vulnerable to removal and such before you can really do anything with it. Whereas Siren Song is going to do what it says it's going to do.
Yeah, and he's got the 2-headed giant. It's a 4/4 that can block 2 creatures, so he could like kill 2 small things.
Oh, he can crush 2 weenies at the same time by having them attack into the giant. Yeah.
And so he's playing my favorite song right now. It's the worst or favorite card right now is Tetsu Umezawa. He's got that in there, which is the 4th Royal Assassin.
The other Royal Assassin for sure.
Yeah. But he's a 3/3, so
Disharmony can net you I guess it's a 2 for 2 if you're sirening your opponent's creatures, then disharmonying them, smacking them together, basically. That all works.
Will-O-Wisp stalls, which is awesome.
Yeah, stalls ties things up exactly.
Yeah, and then it just plays like a lot of like good cards already. It has him, it has Royal plus Icy, like 4 Icy manipulators. Probably won this guy like 2 or 3 games. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you're mana screwed. Sorry, dude. My deck plays 4 Icy. Like that's gonna happen in the 8-round
him can set them back enough so that it gives you time to like stick your 4-drops. Basically, it'll buy you a little bit of time by disrupting them.
I highly I love so much the flash counter in this deck because if you're playing creatures against this deck, you're so fucked.
Yeah.
I'm playing Tetsu Umezawa. I'm playing Sangir. I'm playing fucking Disharmony, two-headed giant, like play a creature. Okay, I don't need to counterspell a creature. The only thing this dude really needs to counterspell is like ancestral recalls and like awkward freaking Wheel of Fortunes. Like he doesn't need to counterspell anything else.
Well,
Well,
and
I'm gonna.
it hits swords, it hits bolt. So if
Oh,
they're going
true,
after
yeah.
your assassin
Royals or whatever,
yeah,
yeah.
you can protect them.
Yeah, the
Well, I'm
flash
gonna get
counters.
on my soapbox here. Is never play that. Play freaking Spell Blast.
Spell blast is what
Blue
you're
and one
missing.
stops everything you just talked about, but
Yeah.
blue and four stops an Armageddon. You won't believe how often that is the case.
Yeah.
There is no reason to ever play flash
Wow.
counter.
I didn't know I was here for a spell blast rant, but I
Spell
got one.
blast
I'm
is
really happy.
is multiple times better than that because it stops everything that stops, plus some of the craziest things you'll ever see. Like a late game, you're just like, oh yeah, you don't need to. I can stop that giant brain geyser. It's so good.
Well, it can also
and
stop
for two,
creatures.
it stops ancestral and bolt and everything you just said is all cost 2. So yeah, never not use spell blast.
And
Wow.
it can counter creatures too, where flash counter can't. I like flash counter still. I play it in like central decks a lot.
Flash
But at
counter
least
only
it's-
stops instants.
It's it's so stylish though. It just
It's stylish, yeah. The
Spell
other thing I'll
blast
throw in
also has a
here,
dude's butt in it in the artwork.
the
far from the
other
only
thing that this deck needs is an arena, because
Force
I like
the
that.
gear.
you can have them force them to fight the Sengir, and they're tapped. So, or you can force them into the two-headed giant and just kill them.
Tap too.
So even if they
That's
live,
cool.
you can kill them with Royal.
What would you cut, the Swamp King then? Because like you're cutting a land, so you're staying low to the ground.
I might actually cut an Icy for it.
What?
it
Yeah.
plays a similar role as Icy, right? Because it taps down the
because
creature.
it's tapping things down.
Wow.
But man,
But the issue is that it's dependent on you having a creature in play, which is not. He's only got like 11 creatures or something. It's tough to bank on that.
yeah. But you can live the dream because you can do it to your own tap creature. So you can attack with Sengir
That's right.
and then arena it, kill something, put a counter on it,
Yeah, totally.
pre-combat, and now he's a 5/5 about to hit something else.
Yep. Arena's
Yeah,
pretty
I don't know.
Can you do it? Can you arena during combat? You can.
Yeah.
3 and tap target creature you control and target creature of an opponent's. Oh, they choose. So they need to basically have one guy. They choose.
Or something that's smaller than a 4/4.
Yeah. Love it. They fight each other. Perfect. Yeah, you can do it. You can literally do it on your way in.
Yeah, on your way in. So you can, I don't know if it's ever happened in History of Magic, but you could get 2 counters on a Sengir in 1 turn.
Yeah. Sick.
But I mean, it fights Swamp King, the two-headed giant, all that. It would be perfect here. But God,
Yeah, I'm with
those
you.
are
I'm with you.
beautiful. Again, look at this crap.
Yeah, he's got some really sweet stuff. I love the hymn playset. It's kind of hidden there, but the hymn with the wretched on it is like fantastic.
Oh, yeah. See his wing.
Beautiful.
This Mind Twist looks pretty amazing too. I can see there's like tendons coming in there and stuff.
Yep.
Quick tangent. Do you pay any attention to Photoshop at all?
No,
You know the program. So there's a new AI extension in Photoshop, and so what you do is you take a picture and then you make it bigger, and you just tell the AI to fill it in.
Yeah.
And in like 15 seconds, it creates what goes around it.
Well, that's ridiculous.
And so cool with old Magic cards because a lot of stuff's like cut off. You can't see their hats. You can't see what's like. You see what was around the corner. You just make this bigger,
before, like,
and you say go. And
makes a story about what's there. Yeah.
Yeah, you could see the rest of this arm on Icy. You might have a big flex. Might be you can just sink countless hours into it. It's so good. It's like like everyone does these extensions. The new AI in Photoshop is like an instant extension machine, and it gives you 3 options of all of them. I don't know. We were screwing around with like Helium Sav had like a big hairy arm, and Force Spike. I put a big wizard shooting that you sees the hand. Like it'd be cool to see what Siren's call's about. Anyhow, sideline. We'll come back to the spice. All right, the last one at LobsterCon. is Greg. Yeah, talked to him
Yeah,
about this for a little bit
the
too. So
junk Eureka deck. This is fantastic.
yeah. So he was just, I mean, he was all in. He was Eureking 4 forces, 4 Lord of the Pit, 4 Sarahs, 4 Trikes. So just kind of all in. And he was telling me about some of those games, and they were pretty good. I mean, he was having a good time with this thing.
He took a lot of really fun board state photos. Several of them made it into the tournament report. If for those who are curious to see this thing in action, what I love about this, I mean, first of all, from a style perspective, you know, that line of 12 beta creatures there at the top. It's a rare thing in contemporary old school to see Lord of the Pit. I mean, Lord of the Pit was like one of the chase rares, you know, when back in the day, you know, when I was a kid, just started playing, you know, picked up Revised as my first core set. You know, Lord of the Pit was like just one of these unbelievable creatures. Unfortunately, it's not really part of what we know today as like the old school format generally. But you know, you've got some homes for it, and this is one of them. And it's wonderful to see them on the battlefield. And so I think just by virtue of the inclusion of those cards, like the deck photo sort of grabbed my attention.
He and I talked about this for a while, and the Lords of the Pit were kind of a problem because you don't tap and have to sack things to him and all that. So
Yeah, he doesn't have like a Birds of Paradise even or anything.
yeah,
like
so what my suggestion, and he was digging it, was to replace those with personal incarnations because they are hard to kill.
A real card.
It's a real card, and if you drop a couple of those, a Force of Nature and a Sarah, you got no downside on your upkeep other than paying for the Force. And that
now, is that a combo? Can you pay the force damage? Can you take part of it?
Wow. No, that's not. No.
No
damage isn't dealt to personal incarnate.
On Force of Nature deals 8 damage to you. It is damage. It's not loss of, or it's not like a loss of life.
What does damage to you? You're thinking of a veteran bodyguard that does the damage back. Personal incarnation, when it's dealt damage, you can choose to bring it up to yourself.
Okay, yeah.
You're thinking of the bodyguard, which might be an option, but
well, that's come on. Where's my Force of Nature bodyguard deck?
That would probably make it on here. But I mean, he won games with this thing, right? I mean, he did all right, I think. I mean, he was having a good time. But yeah, if you get a personal incarnation with like a spirit link on it, it's the most annoying freaking thing.
He went 3 and 5 in matches at LobsterCon.
Really? Holy shit!
Yeah, I'd kind of check it with him after each round.
Totally.
And this was a champion. So
I will just say, so I've been playing Personal Incarnation. I played it last Thrash Bash with a deck that played 4 of them. I'm playing it this Thrash Bash with a deck that played 4 of them. He's only died 1 time. I played him for a solid like year and a half. And
the
so if he dies,
Terror, right? Terror
and Wrath of God, yeah. Everything else just exiles him. Because if you double bolt him, you just take 1 life.
Right.
You can redirect a 1 life to you, and then he takes 5 and not 6. So he's only ever died 2 times. And I've played a Personal Incarnation. I probably casted the card like close to like 40 times.
Yeah.
And he's only died twice. So if he dies, you lose half your life. It's never been a problem. Yeah, the card is insane.
But this deck with that maybe twist would be perfect, because I think that was his only complaint, was he'd have like 2 lords out or something on the upkeep, and he's like, man, if I didn't have that, it would have been, several wins were kind of cut short by the greedy Lord of the Pit.
Or he goes all in and cuts Sarah for Personal Incarnation to destroy his own Personal Incarnation to take half his life. Yeah,
that's commitment. With the mirror universe.
Truly all in, would be cutting the Sarah for. Yeah, that 3 and 5. That's amazing, dude.
Yeah,
that's so tight.
No, hats off.
Eureka is powerful, dude. Holy shit.
Absolutely. No, hats off to Echo Greg. He did a great job with this. Love to see Eureka, and love to see some non-traditional things to warp in with Eureka for sure.
It's a tight deck running like 2 disenchant main. Like there's no room when you play Eureka.
Oh yeah, he's thought a lot about it.
And that's the end of the Spice Awards. I was going to skim through here. I did like a couple of these deck photos, like
The
the elephant deck was pretty amazing. Because it was like a 4-elephant graveyard with got the 8 elephants in there and the elephant trunk formation. That was pretty amazing.
Yep. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, there's obviously, here was my deck. I did try for Spice.
Yours is really cool.
It did a lot of cool things. I think it's a really legit deck. It was like a white reanimator deck, but Bazaar and land tax is cool. And then using the archaeologist to regrow the stuff you throw out with Bazaar was really strong. I did multiple Chaos Ore blocks. And
AO pile.
the Aeopile locks were kind of like a pretty common thing. Because when I was winning great.
Yeah, late game Ivory Tower is really good with Archaeologist.
Yeah, and the Bazaars with just Reincarnation was really good. You just get back, Rasputin late in the game, or another Trike, play it again. Rasputin Trike going on with the Caracas, and there were a couple times I was bringing Juggernaut back with the Archaeologist. Archaeologist was actually the all-star of the day, and people started to fear it. They're like, "Damn, I got to kill that freaking Archaeologist."
Yeah, if they don't kill it, it can start getting out of hand. It starts to become a lightning rod when people actually figure it out. But if you can start recurring, God forbid you get them under like an ore block with it. It's just as good as like the Guardian Beast thing. You're orbiting something every turn. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that happened a lot more than you think. And obviously with land tax, you're just getting 3 things, pitching 3. If you can keep your lands like in check. When it worked, I loved it. But I think I was like turn 2 against the deck. Turn 1 was like
cool.
Double hemmed on the draw. Yeah, there was a few things. There's nothing you can do about it. But it was a fun deck to play throughout the day.
Well, Archaeologist is better than Guardian Beast against Hymn to Torok decks.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I do wish
Graveyard looks good.
I wish I had. That's what I was going to run in Summer Derby. It was a similar version of that with Library of Lang in it, because that really helps when you can choose off of Bazaar what to put on top of your deck and what to put in your graveyard.
Can we see that Goblin deck go up a little bit? I want to see that Goblin deck. Let's all judge the Goblin deck. He was trying to be spiky. Was it good?
Oh, it's just a dice. It's just a beautiful deck photo also.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
It's got heroes and flotillas and some things that you don't normally
double
see,
the rack, double. Yeah, it's got
double rack, double vice. He's got to
get him early, get him late. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Dude, that's our cousin Brandon right there. Yeah, he's always trying to figure out the mixture of the two.
1 fork and 3 grenades. All right.
Sure.
Got one gauntlet.
Yep.
2 fireballs.
Cool.
Value gauntlet. Yep.
Value gauntlet with the 1. Yeah, good one.
That's cool for sure.
Just a beautiful photo too.
Yeah, I love judging Goblin decks. Like if it's like, I mean, the dude that was a cool one. Goblin Hero with the rack in it. That was sweet.
Put a lot of beaten track for sure.
Spend a month here just flipping through all these. What was this one was Pet Cemetery. I
Pet Cemetery.
This deck photo. It's a lot of effort went into this deck photo too. It's got a pretty typical.
It's a reanimator, yeah.
Reanimator deck, yeah, with
Library of Lang and Bazaar Baghdad to put the good card on top.
This might have been the guy I played because we were both running Bazaar, and he played Library of Lang, and he's like, no, it's not for that reason. Like the first game just didn't go well for him, and then I got to see him like, oh damn, that is really good, and he was I feel like I played him, yeah. And,
why does he have a Savannah Lion in his deck, dude?
For the draw.
What the fuck, dude?
No, I think
sometimes does.
I think it's one of the pets. It's like a cat for the cemetery.
I get that, but like, damn, that's dedication, dude.
I think those cards correspond with the each member of the family there.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So, and Winston Churchill must be their cat.
The cat, yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Louis Rachel Elliott Gage.
Dedication.
Amazing.
Well, that
Imagine animating dead a fucking Savannah lion as a 1/1.
that's living the dream.
Not ideal. Yeah.
All right. Do we want to hop over to Summer Derby? It wasn't as spicy.
Let's cover the Derby. And this is a Spice Files exclusive because we haven't posted any of the Derby decks outside of the top 16 yet. So depending on when this goes up, people may get to see some of their first Derby Spice decks. I took a pass. We had 148 or so people in the Derby this year. I took a pass through everything. I found a handful really worth kind of digging into here. So I can do my best to check this out on the fly.
If you miss something and you find it later, send it to me. We'll recap on a
future
episode
for
if something slipped through the crack that should have been mentioned, because
definitely.
Never get tired of spice. So.
This first one comes from Alex Blanchette. It's a Candle Surge deck with it's got a transmute to it, which you don't often see. You've seen a lot of these that are just white red. I thought the blue splash was interesting. More for the mute than for the power. But I also and shout out to Will Partial. He actually built a deck along these lines. Also was shooing Mana Flare to the X Point event at LobsterCon, and that he won. He went like 4-2 with that deck. But I thought this was a pretty neat take. The Power Surge. Obviously, it's a card that only functions in environments that have mana burn, which is most of the old school formats except for Swedish. This summer we were doing Atlantic, I guess. So there's a home for decks like this in those formats.
Well, I like it because you don't need that many candles. You draw an extra when you just transmute it away, go get a book. You might because you can even get the mana before you do it. Desert Candle seems like a good meta call for most of what's going on these days with all the weenie creatures.
Desert Candle's ridiculous. It's as a weenie deck player, it's oppressive. Like you can, they can start killing your X2s, your X3s. It gets out of hand really fast. Same with the factory, right? They can attack with a factory, candle it once or twice, and suddenly you've got an attacking 4/4 factory that's pumped itself. You get multiple uses out of Maze of Ith.
Four freaking Maze. Maze Candle is nasty.
Yeah. It's really nasty.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things you can do. You could like maze a creature so you don't take the damage, and then desert it multiple times with the candle.
That's right. Yeah, after the damage step.
Because you're not taking the damage. You desert it, then you maze it. You take nothing.
Yeah, and you can draw a lot of cards with library and candle too. Power Surge is one of those cards that like you can pay 2 mana for, and you count the damage that it's done at the end of the game. Like, okay, Lightning Bolt costs 1 red, it does 3.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes Power Surge will be like, okay, I paid 2 red and I dealt like 13 damage with this card, like something crazy like that.
If you build around it, it can be very, very damage efficient for the card and the mana investment. Absolutely.
What else does he dump it into? He's got factories.
He's dumping into factories. He's dumping into the books. Up at the top there.
That's it.
That's about it.
I'm trying to understand what his other outlets are. Bold.
Yeah.
You could maybe a couple more Pyro, a couple more Disintegrates, maybe. I don't know. Something with an X.
Like Cop Red. He's already in white. He could just play Cop Red. Cop Red's pretty good power with Power Surge.
He's got 5 in the side. Oh no, I'm just kidding. He's got 2 in the side.
Oh shit.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, I like it.
Awesome.
I love a good can.
All right.
All right. Let's move on here.
This is Greg Titcomb of the Old School MTG on Instagram. Yeah.
Man.
First of all, amazing photography. He takes the time to unsleeve his cards before he
Unsleeved it
takes the picture.
all.
Yeah. And his lighting is always super consistent. I think he, does it like near a window in his house where he's got like good natural light. I
Do we
mean,
know for sure that he plays with sleeves on, or does he just have an unsleeved collection?
no, he definitely I think he just like it's maybe just very zen, like to like sleeve and unsleeve things all the time. It's like a daily ritual for him, I think. Now you might be looking at the main deck and saying, like, why is this on the Spice Files? This makes no sense. I mean, a beautiful layout, obviously, but this is just like Arabian aggro or whatever, rug aggro. He's got a full transformational sideboard into Power Monolith. I've not seen that exactly. And so you can pull out. He's got what 16 creatures. He can yank 15 of them and put in his entire transform package and become basically like a Bernie Power Monolith deck.
Yeah, and they're not going to see that coming at
Nope.
all.
No
That
way.
is. Yeah, so you leave one creature, and then you've got your 8 bolts, Psy Blast. You end up with 4 fireballs. The
Yep.
brain geyser them out. Power.
They go to sideboard. Maybe they're grabbing their bottles, or more creature removal or something. Life gain,
bottles
whatever.
are worthless. Yeah.
Yep. And then you zig when they're gonna zag, and you're in good shape. I think it's super fun.
You think? How would you sideboard out? You said you'd only leave one creature. I think I would leave either like the Curd Apes or Serendibs as defenders.
You might almost
Right.
take. It depends if they're bringing in bottle, but you might even cut. You can't cut library.
I don't think you cut library. I don't think you
I
cut
don't
the
think you
City
can.
Brass.
I think you can cut Chain Lightning against a lot
your
of decks.
blue sources. You can definitely cut chains. Yeah.
You could cut Bull against like the deck or something.
You've got a lot of flexibility, actually. I mean, if you're going really deep.
Sometimes
you could
pixies
also
are just freaking amazing. If they got trikes and stuff, you leave those.
Yeah,
it gives you options. Just whatever your
exactly.
game one was is now. Yeah.
You could also just like against other Serendib decks, just cut like 3 Scrib Sprites and just bring in 3 Lightning Bolts. Or sorry, 3 Fireballs, which is kind of like just good against other blue-red decks.
Well, I think the hope is you just beat them game one because it was too quick.
Yep.
And they're like, all right, we know what's up, and then you just catch them out of nowhere on.
Well, it depends, right? Yeah, I mean, you can mix it up. It depends what you're against.
I love
the
transformation.
This deck is awesome. Yeah, this is one of the better decks to have as a transforming sideboard.
All right.
Because I feel bad for the podcast listeners. This is gonna suck as a podcast. You should probably just watch the video.
We're covering the cards.
Dude, imagine trying to follow this without seeing the deck list.
Oh, come on.
I think this is very, very strong content. Let's be,
Yeah. We have a fan or two out there, so whatever.
This is Echo Greg again, Greg Graham, who's junk Eureka list we just saw.
Yeah.
This is a cool deck. You've seen this is kind of spiritually connected to like the Abyss Knights archetype, right? Where you play Abyss and White Knight in order. This is sort of doing that. It's like a Workshops deck or like a Robots deck, but with like base green for Whirling Dervish, which is also pro black, kind of on that Knights theme. And then a payoff in Berserk, which just gets out of hand really fast with if you're attacking with like Juggernaut, for example.
Juggernaut for 10 is pretty good.
Seems okay.
Or God forbid you get 2 and hit him for 20.
Yeah, Juggernaut's the best Berserk target.
I feel like this is like a pretty spiky deck, but it's also just got like this twist to it with the using a base green mana base in a shop's shell that is just like I've not really seen something like this done before, and I've seen a lot of things. So this is it's a neat kind of departure from the from like normal shop stacks, however you want to define that, but also from the like Abyss Knights archetype.
So this deck really struck my eye. The only thing I have a question for you guys about, I can't figure out why he plays 3 Terror in the sideboard, because his creatures are more powerful than other creatures, and he's playing 3 Abyss against artifact against, like, okay, you could say Sarah Angel is bigger than a Sushi or something, which, sorry, but like under a Crusade it is. But like, what's the Terror for? Because it doesn't destroy artifact creatures, so you already have Abyss.
Abyss
so I
sort
don't
of takes care of everything that you're going to terror, I think, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, non-black, non-artifact. So I feel like he kind of might have lost 3 sideboard slots that could be even. This deck could be stronger.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that you're not gonna sideboard out very many things. Like the main deck is relatively rigid. You want to keep a certain amount of threat density. You're not going to really touch many of the creatures. You don't want to take out the berserks. I mean, often you
really,
do.
I could cut the berserks, I think.
No, for sure, but they're like, that's why you're playing the deck, so like you don't want to take them out.
Yeah,
you don't have
it's like, the key of the deck. But yeah, you could cut the berserks. Like,
no, whenever I play berserks, I side them out all the time because I'm like, what is this stupid card doing here? But like, that's the point of having berserks in your deck, is to actually cast the berserks, and you can't do that if you're siding them out.
Yeah. I guess I just don't see the point of Terror.
I'd replace the Terror with Juxtapose, because that Berserk Juxtapose is a great combo.
Yeah.
Especially with a Sushi.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Give them one that's going to blow up at the end of their turn, and they're going to be stuck with 4 extra damage.
But like, what if you were to play like one more Blue Blast and like another Crumble?
Yeah, again, like I don't, for sure. I just don't know when you're going to take out like more than a couple cards.
So do you think he would cut the 3
I think he was
Abyss
just kind of like,
what
are some cards that could go into a sideboard? I don't know, and just kind of
he's a brewer. He's just like, well, I freaking sideboard.
Yeah, he could cut the like 3. Like, okay, I'm playing against Arabian aggro. I'm gonna cut the 3 Abyss for 3 Terror, because he's only gonna play a Serendib and an Urnum like very slowly. Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the 3 Terror sideboard. Terror's a good card, but I just
I guess the only argument is that if you need to get faster than the Abyss somehow, and just deal with something that comes out really fast and can do a lot of damage. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Icy more than Terror. I think like workshop decks.
You're relying on those shops though. They don't come up as often as you'd think.
True.
I play shops.
Yeah, I know. Every time I play against workshops, no, when I play against it, they go workshop mocks Icy every game, and I'm like, wow, Icy's the best card ever. Yeah. So only seeing 2 there and then 3 Terror sideboard is weird to me.
I go shop, they go strip mine. That's how I play.
Yeah, that's how you play it. Yeah.
That's how
I like Relic Barrier in the mirror too. Like you can,
yeah,
you don't need Icy. You can just bring in Relic Barriers against robots and stuff like that.
Yeah, Relic Barrier is super good. It's almost as good as Disenchant, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is hard to be too spicy in the Summer Derby or the Derbies, because they are very competitive.
This is the perfect spice of competition.
This is a spicy meatball. This is this is James Onion's deck. He calls it the Scarwood Winter Ball, and it's effectively a transmog bandits list, basically.
Dude, bandits Winter Orb is a combo that I've been missing out on in my whole life until I saw this. This is awesome, dude.
All right, break down bandits Winter Orb for me.
So yeah, they have to pay 1 or else you gain control of an artifact. But then with Winter Orb, they like always have to keep one of their lands up. So they're just really slow. But then you also have the Ashnod's Altar, so it's like, you just can like just really make them tap out. Like Icy or Ashnod's Altar can sometimes act as a time walk in this deck, or because they have to tap their 1 land that they get to untap, or they just like, screw you, I just have an Urnum and like 2 land War Elf and no freaking artifacts out. Why do I care about Scarwood Bandits? And then you just drop a freaking Ashnod's Transmogrification and you're like, okay, let me get that Urnum off you real quick.
Yeah, make your dude an artifact, steal it. Can you pay the
The-
2? No. Okay, it's mine forever.
Dude, that's such. So he's got the Scavenging Folk, Ashnod's Transmogrification. Then he's got Winter Orb, Scarwood Bandits.
Yep.
I do really, really respect him for being spicy, for playing some of the bigger weird cards like Lady of the Mountain, Gaia's Liege, Falconeer.
Sebastian Falconer, right? That's the big mana dork, right? It's like a
Yeah, a 5-mana. But he's actually, that's one of the, like, I don't know, top 10 legends. Like a 5-mana 4/4.
5-mana 4/4 that taps to add Carlos. It's like
yeah.
a soul
It's
ring
okay.
on a 4/4 body for 5. Yeah. No, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. Also, like if you're trying to get up to Mirror Universe, and it also works with your Winter Orbs, right? It's a mana dork.
It does, but you know what else is a mana dork? Llanowar Elves and Birds of Paradise. If he were to cut, like I mean, dude, we got DFB on the podcast, like the #1 Pendlehaven player over here. Like, what if we cut the Cockatrice, the Basalt Basilisk or whatever,
a little lower? Yeah.
and then played like mana rampers and like, and then like the Gaia's Liege, Lady of the
also
Mountain.
work with your with your Winter Orbs. Yeah. I feel you.
Winter Orb plus the Birds of Paradise or Llanowar Elves, and then maybe played like a Pendlehaven or two. That's pretty good too. And maybe you keep the Falconeer, because you're right. Like Falconeer is sick with the Winter Orb.
With Winter Orb, yeah, that's a great combo.
And maybe you want to keep the Gaia's Liege because they say, okay, I'm going to untap my volcanic island. And
you lock out that one. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to turn that into a forest. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I get that. That's cool.
I like that a lot.
I do get it, for sure. This to me does not have enough ramp. It's got 4 Moxes and a Soul Ring.
What's the Candle doing here? Trying to understand where he's getting his value out of the Candle.
Just the maze, dude.
He's got a couple factories, or he's got factories. He's got a couple mazes. I don't know. It's just kind of like a neat little trick.
Dude, this is so close to being nasty. Like he's got Atog with like, I don't know, like 16 artifacts or something.
I like Togs at the top. But you're right. Like I don't know if you want, like, I don't know if Pixie's what you want.
Yeah, dude, cut the Pixies,
just kind of like a guy. Yeah.
And play like some lower stuff, and it's nasty, dude.
I gotta say, I am in love with some of these combos. Like I've never seen, Scarwood Bandits Transmog. I've never seen Bandits Winter Orb. Falconer Winter Orb is very, very cool. Ditto the Gaia's Liege Winter Orb. Like there's some stuff to really really appreciate here. I feel like
this might be a deck that he has played, and he has like these cards that he knows to use against specific things. Like, oh, I need Cockatrice.
Yeah.
I keep losing to Serendib. Like I keep fucking losing to it.
Yep.
So maybe this is something but to me, brewing this deck personally, like I'm cutting the 5-mana cards. Like I'm cutting Lady of the Mountain real fast for another Scavenging Folk. Like those are cards that I'm moving. Like,
yeah, you want to scavenge folk. You want to kill all of their Moxes basically, because
Transmogrification, it kills anything.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this deck, dude, Winter Orb, your Winter Orb combo with the Scarwood Bandits is so sick. This deck is so sweet.
Yeah, there's a lot here actually.
There really is. Dude, there's so much here that he has a 2-headed giant in the sideboard. Like, let's get real, dude. Like, this deck is crazy.
Goodness gracious.
I think it's at 62 cards. Perfect. Yeah, the 61 cards
61
used to be spiced back in like 2019. 62 is the new number, boys. Let's just keep the deck getting bigger. This deck is actually crazy, dude. I don't like
just
Meek
2
Stone
bolts. That's
ever.
all you really need. I mean,
that's
Meek Stone with your own big creatures is a little bit sad. I do like the fact that the Basilisk and Cockatrice stay under Meek Stone.
I think the Scarwood Bandits and the Pixies do too. Everything's pretty
low.
Yeah.
Except for the Lady of the Mountain and Falconer Meek Stone is not great.
That's really bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Dude, this is actually like. He had like this awesome. He was driving in the car one day to work, and he's like, "Dude, I got this crazy spice idea," and he threw it together.
Yeah.
Atog, Meekstone, that's pretty cool. He's so close to having like one of the sickest decks I've ever seen.
No, I mean, to be clear, this is maybe the sickest deck in the Summer Derby. So let's give credit where credit is due.
Dude.
Yep.
But
Seriously.
I think this could go to 11. Again, another place where you can have channel. You have Fireball. You have your mirror universes. You've got other artifacts that you can channel out too. Like just put the channel in your deck. Give yourself a chance to make the dream happen. Your base green and red. Like come on.
What's fun to just channel out 2 ices sometimes too. You're just like, oh.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
You can channel icy because then it only costs one.
Channel your mirror.
Barrier.
Only costs 1 to activate.
Yeah, you have 2 mirrors. You should play a channel. But here, so DFB, you know a lot about like white, little green and little white things and stuff like that. Would you play Winter Orb with Pendelhaven then?
I don't like that's like the Derek Walker school of mono green, right? He put up really good results at the Bootleggers Ball. I mean, this was now like, I don't know, 5 years ago, something like that. Where he had like a Winter Orb package with like NAF SASP and like really focused on taxing. Yeah. How I like to approach mono green is like all of the utility lands and like tapping all your permanents all the time. And like using Maze as an offensive tool, using Pendelhaven basically as like an unkillable Mishra's Factory. And I'm tapping all my lands all the time, and I don't think that I also don't have any main deck like shatter or disenchant targets. So as soon as I include an artifact like Icy, it just or like Winter Orb, excuse me, it just draws the first shatter effect that they have in their hand. So for me, like I've messed around in that space a little bit, but I'd rather be using Pendelhavens and Mazes and stuff like that to the fullest of their abilities, and not having to worry about what to untap and what to leave.
So then does he need to keep the factory to bait out shatters and disenchants? Or should he cut factory? Because I think factory's
so many targets, though. Like, I don't know. The question about factory just comes down to what his color requirements are. I mean, you want something like, I guess the Scarwood Bandits are the earliest green
and they're double green to activate.
So, I mean, you could probably in the double green. Are they double green or are they 2 and a green?
I think
double green and 2. They're 4.
Four to cast, but to activate it's 2 and a green.
Okay.
So like I think you could get away with like 13 green sources or something in your deck. Now if you want channel, you want to be closer to 14.
He doesn't have 13 at all. He doesn't have close to that. So
1, 2, 3, 4.
You cut factory?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's got 12.
Counting Lotus. He's got 12. Do you count Lotus?
No,
I never count Lotus. I was thinking 11. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
I guess I just didn't understand. I see like Mazevith and Factory in a deck that plays 3 Winter Orb. Mazevith and Factory in Winter Orb.
Yeah, I mean, but then he's got. I mean, the candle can convert colored mana that he doesn't need into other things that he wants. I agree. Like there's like a lot of there's a couple like weird like non-bow corners of this list that could be maybe streamlined a little bit, but also like bringing something like this into an existence is like having a sandbox. It's like a playground. You kind of figure out things that work, and then the next time
he knows it way more than we do. Like why he plays these specific cards are very specific. I feel
like we're picking this apart, but like at the end of the day, this is like one of the coolest things that we've seen in an hour and a half.
That's why we're picking it apart, dude.
I know, it's so exciting.
Yeah. This is too tight.
I feel like the spice has fallen off a little bit. And I hope us talking about like all these different variants of all these crazy decks like inspires more spicy out there. I just want to spread the spicy thing.
Yeah, everything he's doing with Scarwood Bandits here is just making my heart skip a beat a little bit. I'm like, oh, I could go back to Mana Stack and eat it tonight. You know, I could stay up late and tinker with this. Like there's a lot here to kind of dig into. And
it's huge, dude.
Just that if you're like showing people something like that in the year 2013 or excuse me 2023, what year is it even? Like we've been doing old school for how long, and people are still coming up with stuff. and exploring nooks and crannies, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
For a
I've
format
not
that most
seen
people think is.
Scarwood and the Transmog before. That's good. It's real
This
good.
is a new combo, dude.
Love
Yeah,
it.
this
Well
is
done,
the
James.
sweetest deck.
Yeah. All right, we got one more. I don't want to keep you all night, but we got nothing going on, so you're here. Micah. All right, cool. All right, what's he up to?
This is Micah, the Raging River.
Raging River, yeah.
Yep. First of all, amazing collection. Second of all, what do you call this? Mono brown parfait. He calls it the flour mill. It looks like Millstone is his win con. And he's just got a lot of other funky one-ofs and stuff that he's playing off of his workshops and Tron package. It takes a lot to commit to mono brown, and there are different ways of doing it. But this is like a kind of controlling kind of prison approach that you don't often see. So,
oh my God,
thought it was worth playing.
Yeah.
Is that a cursed rack? He's got a. It looks like I'm trying to like dig into the one-ofs there.
Yeah, he does have a cursed rack.
Gauntlets of
And
Chaos
next to Bazooka, the Goblin Bazooka or whatever.
Yeah, Rocket Launcher. Cursed rack. Is that a voodoo doll?
That
I don't know what that is.
No. Is it a?
No.
It's an altered Cyclopean tomb, I think.
Oh, okay.
Just reading the text.
Yeah, the first word says take.
Okay, it's Aladdin's ring, Mirror Universe, disc, rocket launcher, cursed rack, Cyclopean tomb, orb, soul ring, crypt, and gauntlets of chaos.
Gauntlets of chaos.
Yeah, and a white border Gauntlet of Chaos. Isn't it a Fallen Empires card?
I think it's in Chronicles.
Oh, is it in Chronicles? Okay, all right.
No, because that doesn't have the date. It just has the. It looks like a white bordered version. Like he whited it out. Maybe not.
No, I think it's either Fourth or Chronicles. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see a lot of Gauntlet of Chaos. Sorry if I'm wrong on that.
No, it's definitely it's a Legends card that was reprinted in Chronicles. And this is sort of like, it's a little bit like Juxtapose. 5 mana to cast, 5 to activate, and then you sack it. Exchange control of target artifact, creature, or land you control, and target permanent and opponent controls that shares one of those types with it. And if the permanents are exchanged this way, you destroy any auras attached to them.
It's pretty cool. It's actually a decent card if you can pay. The mana cost is high, but he's got it going on here. Hopefully, but
he should be able to get to that level of mana. And and the cool thing about Gauntlets of Chaos is it's not like Juxtapose. Like you pick the thing that you're grabbing, and you
give them a desert.
Yeah,
you take their library or what? I don't know. Yeah.
Anyone notice those Felwar stones?
The Hoover Send? Yeah, I mean his collection is absolutely gross. The stuff that
he takes the worst deck photo. He just puts dices over it. Like, yeah, I have 3 workshops.
Whatever. I got a stack of signed.
No, I would co-sign that. If I had a collection like his, I would show you the front of every single card I had.
Or maybe he just has really bad 4th edition Felwar stones, but one really nice. It just says, "Yeah, I have 4 of these."
He does maintain a really incredible cube, so maybe it's possible everything is just like one-offs. But I don't know. He's got some just wild stuff. The desert there has Arabic text altered onto it.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. That's never been made, right? That's
no. That's all custom.
Okay.
It's all custom. Yeah. The Obsianus Golem, his sideboard's crazy too.
Yeah, this Golem looks awesome.
We haven't even talked about this. Yeah, he sideboards. He has no creatures main, and he sideboards into creatures. Right? He's got Jugs and Colossuses and the Golem. And what is that? Gordon and Seb on an altar. What is that? 6 drop?
It looks like Shapeshifter.
It could be.
I think it's Shapeshifter. And then the Flying Carpet.
Yeah, Alabara's Carpet, I couldn't even tell you what that does. Couple balls.
Well, only flying creatures can attack.
Dude, that's totally that 100% is Gordon and Seb.
I wonder when the fourth workshop comes in. You know, he's like, well, I've adjusted my curve upwards, so I need to make sure I have room for the fourth.
The Colossus. I guess
The Colossus. Yeah, when
you
the
need it.
9
You
mana
need a lot of shops to
Yeah, Colossus
the
comes
Colossus
in the fourth shop.
That's still a lot of mana though. Like you have what, like 12 of the, tower, mine, or whatever. That's 12 lands.
I really
You go to
love-
16 for factories, 20 for the freaking maze of, or 20 for the strip mines, 23 for desert. There's a lot of colorless lands, really.
He's showing us there that he has 4 of each Tron piece, right? That one die is doing a lot of work. Yeah.
He's playing
Just
23 lands.
Show us your
No,
lands.
sorry, 24. No, 21, because he's only playing 1 strip mine. Never mind. That's weird.
Do you think he has 4 Alpha Icy?
Sure.
Right.
Probably.
No,
Well,
he's
I
just,
know.
I can see the corners of the other ones behind it.
Oh,
See right
yeah.
through
Well,
that stuff.
Alpha Ices are centered. You see how like that text is like centered, and same with the Howling Mines.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way to tell when betas are like all from left to right or whatever.
Yeah, the Beta Ice is a lot darker. It's got a lot more text on it. The Alpha Ices are just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
tell his
so-
collection's gangster.
But I mean, I think
Al Habara's carpet is just 5 to prevent all damage done to you by attacking non-flying creatures. So it bogs out non-flyers.
Yeah, the carpet like lifts you up basically and keeps you safe from the ground.
Yeah, but I mean that's brutal if they're not playing flying creatures.
It's kind of okay when you have like Tron out, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only 5. Two lands.
What's
And is
5?
that shapeshifter with Gordon Seb on it? Is that like
that
I
what-
know that is that the card that they're playing? It's like can come out as like a 1/1 or like a 1/5 or like
Oh,
a
yeah, it could be
3/3.
like a 3/3 or a 1/6 or yeah.
Is that the card?
I don't know.
I
Can't
couldn't
tell.
tell you.
Shapeshifter is a super good card.
I love bringing in Juggernauts though against main deck has no creatures.
Yeah.
Then you bring in Juggernaut. Like
Yeah,
I
I mean,
expected that.
They're maxing like divine offerings and just whatever dusted us and stuff like that. But if they are not in white, their crumbles or shatters or whatever only go so far. So
I kind of disagree with that. Like that card to me seems bad because a deck that's not playing creatures has to be playing factory, and a factory kills a Juggernaut. I still think Juggernaut sucks.
How dare you?
Poor
I think
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut's
really is.
good in singleton or like our made up format double.
Juggernaut
There's
does
not a
do it.
lot of-
Although, listen, this is the hot jug summer. I mean, Juggernaut has been putting up results. At Kumite, John won the thing with Juggernaut, like shops build. There were a bunch of Juggernauts in the Derby top 16 or whatever. It's making the rounds.
It's icy summer, you mean? Yeah, icy
yeah.
manipulator.
That's what it is,
factories. Yeah,
They just
icy
happen to
manipulator is
also- They
good.
just happen to also have the jugs. Yeah.
And he played
believe me, I want you to be right. But yeah, Juggernaut's been putting up some gaudy results lately. It's sort of annoying for those of us who don't believe in it. Which it dies to everything. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, whenever I played, it does. John played icy and not the Howling Mine. The what's the card that taps an artifact? Relic Barrier. He played icy and Relic Barrier main board, which now Icy's gonna be pretty good. See, that is 100%.
That's a shapeshifter because I looked up the green. You can see it around
The
there.
that
background's
weird
the same.
green.
and
Yeah, so it's got the 3 people. So
the
that's
altar has the 3 guys. Yeah.
Gordon and Seb, and who's the third guy?
It's probably. I'd have to see the altar. Gordon Seb. It could be Jonas Staten. It could be. Trying to think of other podcast hosts. It could be depending on how old it is. It could
All
be.
I can see is hair. Could be anything. Could be you, Dave. I don't know.
Could be Sloan Fun. Definitely not me.
It's probably Slam Fun. Yeah.
Could be Grant Castleton if it's like really really old, going back to like first generation flipping orbs days. I don't know.
miss
He
those.
doesn't want to show off his deck, and yet it's gangster. Like he's got the freaking Felwar stones. Like he just
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he has nothing
everything
to
there.
prove anymore, right? It's just like
Yeah, exactly.
He has nothing to prove. It just has a dice there, dude. Oh,
Whatever.
that's just almost mean.
You see, this
But
is
I don't
something
know.
I
He has
never
some
see play as
unlimited
Island of
cards.
Walk. Or,
No, that's
or
good, dude.
that's
That card is so much better
I
than
know.
Mazavith in some decks.
I think
Decks
we
that
did
like okay, if
some.
I play White Weenie, I'd rather play Island of Walk sideboard against Serendib because it keeps it tapped. I can now continue to attack with my creatures. If I mage your Serendib, I can't attack with my White Knight. It's gonna die. So Island of Walk is sometimes good. And I don't know if it does it tap it? Does it if you were attack with Sarah Angel?
No.
Okay, so never mind. But it still keeps Serendib tapped. That's the only reason to play that card over Maze of Ith, is if your deck folds to Serendib.
If it tapped for mana, God, it would be so good. We had that format where everything, all the lands tapped for mana, and it was like the best card in my deck. It's a weird. It's in a weird spot because if it tapped for mana, it's too good. Without it, it's too bad. It's just like never gets played.
Yeah, dude, Serendib's just too strong. Keeping it tapped though is like a 4 defense is just gross, dude, for real. Yeah. I don't think that really needs to be in his sideboard because he's playing like 11/11s with trample, but I think that it's still cool.
None of them fly.
Yeah, I'll take 3 to attack you for 11, whatever.
Yeah, he's got no flyers. He's got as big as Colossus is, he still can't reach up into the sky.
True. Dude, this dude's got the most pimp deck, and he's still got White Border Winter Orb. What the? Just kidding, dude.
Signs.
True.
You're gonna find something to pick apart about everybody.
Yeah,
I
dude. If
feel
you
bad.
got
I feel like we're gonna
Quick
get a bunch of shit for
Felwar,
being the
dude.
dicks that complained about all those spice decks. We're not complaining. I'm just trying to spread the spice seed. Get people
I'm just
thinking.
seeing what I see, dude. If you got $1,100 Felwar stones, I'm gonna just use some what everyone's thinking. I'm just gonna say what everyone's thinking out loud. Because I'm buying my Felwar stones for $4, dude.
Oh man.
Thanks for having me on, guys. This is a blast to do this again. Really appreciate everyone who's coming to these events. You know, these are big spiky events. I realize that, but people who are really committed, bringing stuff that's cool, that's noteworthy, that will turn some heads and raise some eyebrows and give people stuff to think about that they haven't even considered yet. And somehow, against all odds, years and years into how long I've been doing this, people still find ways to, throw in new wrinkles and add some surprises and show me stuff I've never seen. And that is definitely exciting to dig into. And you guys really appreciate all this stuff. I know, Brian, you have repeatedly put up some spicy results and gotten a lot of spice awards along the way. So it's been
a lot of pressure.
Great. Yeah, great to see your stuff. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, love having the chance to do this again, and really appreciate you bringing me on.
What's next besides Winter Derby? Anything between here and now? What else can we do next?
In terms of stuff that I'm doing, no, not nothing that big. I mean, we might do a couple smaller local things here in New England between now and the end of the year, but my next big thing that I'm going to organize is the Derby, and then it'll be a while before the next LobsterCon as well. So we'll see. I'm looking to figure out my fall travel schedule, and people are already, it's the first day of August when we're recording this, and people are already putting stuff on the calendar, well into next year. So just gonna, pick some good spots and
keeps grinding. Yeah,
keep grinding, and hopefully the spice keeps flowing, right?
What are you playing these days? I know you were the legendary mono green aggro guy. I mean, you didn't even play LobsterCon. We came up short a person from setting a world record or whatever. What are you into these days? Real quick before you go.
No, for sure. I've settled into decks that I just love playing. Different builds of green weenie and different builds of white weenie. I recently acquired some Idwin Ifrits. So there's a good chance that I actually cast Lightning Bolt this year, and stay tuned.
Okay.
My first attempt at that actually also involved raw dogging some howling mines. Was messing around with
Okay.
howling mine and like a very, very low curve, like 16 mana sources or something like that, and just like hope howling mine draws me into a bunch of one drops, to kill you, and maybe top the curve out with an Edwin Ifrit or two. So I'm noodling on that right now. I've also been messing around I've been playing a lot of anti-formats. So I've been playing in Eric Martin's events and then playing a fair amount of 40k. And honestly, my 40k deck lately has been Yawgmoth Priest, Mana Vault, Yawgmoth Demon, Suchi, the card Sacrifice, which is just freaking
Yeah.
amazing.
Holy
and
shit.
and Drain Life is a payoff. I love that space. It just comes out of nowhere. You can do a lot with a little, and it has some really big splashy turns. And sometimes the demon just like turns on you and eats you. But that's what you get, right? So
Wow.
Yeah, I get some crap for like, why you got 2 Yawgmoth demons in your sideboard? I'm like, it's so good.
So good.
So
So
good
good.
when it's doing its thing. It's so good.
Mana Vault really ties it all together. And the card Sacrifice does a ton of work.
I like to hear that because I've dabbled a little bit in Sacrifice. I need to come back to it because it just feels strong. Because it
Sacrifice is
one,
insane.
right?
It's one
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 black.
mana, and then your Suchi turns into black 4. Or your Yawgmoth demon turns into 6 black, and then before you know it, you're casting an enormous Drain Life, and you're ending the game. I mean, it's like very.
Yeah, because it's all black, so yeah, you can drain life with it. Perfect. Yeah.
So that's what I've been up to. In the Neos right now, I'm just playing. I'm playing mono green just because I just love the cards. I haven't played Berserk in a while, so I'm rolling out. And I've got this playset of Beta Berserk sitting here, so I figured I'd roll that out. So that's what I'm up to this month.
Juxtaposed.
Yeah, for real. No, seriously, this episode
So fun.
is gonna be like so many things to think about, and like I always just like, I'll just be like lying in bed, bolt awake, and just like, oh, I gotta get up and go to Mana Stack before I forget this idea. So,
Well, I'm usually like, what if I illusionary mask in the Royal Assassin and then it doesn't work? So
yeah, you have to
like
make sure it
80%
works.
of my ideas don't actually
Yeah.
function in Magic, but
I
come
know.
up with a lot of them.
That's you every day. Like
Every day. Yeah.
I only play mono white, so I don't have
Yes.
any rule issues. And then he comes to me, he's like, "What if I Royal Assassin Illusionary Mask?" I'm like, "No, it doesn't work because of this." Every day,
Yeah.
and then he tells me, "I got this crazy idea." I'm like, "No, just play Savannah Lion."
Just go to Scryfall and find out what the card actually does.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, man.
We play with old rules. We've probably played 20 games just this year where I'm just like, I don't know, that makes sense. Just keep it going. Yeah, that's how that card works. Old
Yeah,
school should have less old school, like looking up on the internet, right? That's how the card reads. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty right. I'm really we probably don't have time now, but and maybe you've already done an episode on this or you're planning on recording one, but would love to hear about your the Doubleton event that you guys did. So look forward to hearing some reports out of that. Saw a
White
couple
Weenie
things.
won.
It was
White
pretty
Weenie
fun,
won, dude.
Actually.
Yeah. White Wienie's good in Singleton, so that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't even lose that much going to Singleton, so.
But we played with Phyrexian mana. So any card that costs
Yes.
2 mana had Phyrexian mana. So if it
that's-
was
Yeah.
white or black.
Pay
so
for life to cast Acacian Lieutenant seems strong to very strong.
dude, yeah, it was wild.
Well, it has to be a 2 CMC. So
Yeah.
White Knight, those
Counterspell.
But yeah, it
White
was
Knight, Order,
counterspell.
multiple
Amber-
just
Amber
random
Kithkin,
fucking
obviously,
counter
yeah.
spells. Dude, the Kithkin was like the best card of the day.
Kithkin's sneaky, yeah.
I didn't win it. Another dude that I've never even met before just like showed up and took it all with white. I was playing white too, but he
Dark
had
Horse.
the better.
I
The
love
Dark
it.
Horse, yeah.
Dark Horse with Kithkin. All right.
It was sweet.
Yeah, we'll do probably the next episode.
All right. Yeah. No, please. More
so,
content. Well, thanks for
we-
taking the
we
initiative
keep trying.
and pulling this together. This is great.
All right, man. Well, yeah, and keep some mind for the next one. I think we should. We're gonna keep this alive.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
It's important someone talks about this stuff.
Absolutely.
Keep the spice alive.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Limbackers.
All right. Thanks,
Good night,
Dave.
boys.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
See ya.
Sleep good.
And we're out.